we have this servlet concept, the generic servlet. What's the difference between servlet and generic servlet? Servlet is interface or abstract class? Servlet is an interface of methods, and we need to override all the abstract methods, even though we don't require all. Generic servlet is an abstract class which contains only one abstract method known as service. But these concepts are not protocol independent. Like we have two things, FTP and HTTP. What is FTP means? File transfer protocol. And HTTP means
Hypertext Transfer Protocol.
hypertext. Okay. Now the thing is here, what is the difference between FTP and HTTP? Okay. It is protocol dependent, it is protocol independent. What do you mean by protocol dependent? See, it's a simple example. Take your internet connection. Here, if you have a LAN, you need that particular wire to be connected to your laptop every time, to your desktop or laptop, right? That is similar to FTP. In order to transfer the file, we need to have an established connection. Means 24 hours the connection must be established. Whereas hypertext transfer protocol is similar to like a Wi-Fi. Means what? Whenever you are connecting, it will authenticate and you can access. And multiple users also can access. Okay? And here also we have a problem that if the number of users increases, the server will get slow. The same thing we have happens like when you see your results, the website gets hang, right? The server is loading, or when you have a sale which all the users are trying to get, then what will happen? The server will be loading more. Okay, so that is nothing but there are a limited number of protocol connections, and you are exceeding the number of connections, then the problem occurs. Okay, so now here for a simple example I'll give Facebook. Suppose I've logged in. When I click on this particular things, like here, I got my profile itself, right? So if I suppose I'm logging out from here, I'll just say log out. What happened? If I try to access the other page also, you can't access it actually. If you click here, it will just say login again, right? So what's the difference? If you log out in one tab, you can't access in another tab also, right? Actually, these details are getting stored in a server. In order to store the username and password in the server, we need to use few concepts like known as HTTP session and hidden form fields, URL rewriting. These are the concepts we required actually, and these concepts are not supported by generic servlet. Among that, the most important thing is HTTP session, and the HTTP session is not supported by generic servlet. So which concept supports HTTP servlet? And the package for this HTTP servlet is nothing but javax dot servlet dot then HTTP dot star, or the HTTP servlet. Whatever you want to access, you can access directly. Okay. So those are the things. Now here, whatever that program is there, we have written till now, it's in the notepad. We'll see the Eclipse part. And in the Eclipse, we'll use this HTTP servlet. So in this HTTP servlet, we have a few methods. Like say, if I open the CMD, Java P space javax dot servlet dot http dot http servlet. We have few methods. Among those methods, we are going to use, let's say, service is also there actually. Okay, apart from service, we have a method known as doGet, and one more is there as doPost. Okay, previously I asked you to remember that when I'm trying to access, just stop this server here. When I'm trying to access a particular registration, the values are being shown in the address bar. If you remember properly, the username, password, all these details has been shown in the address bar. And this is not the correct way of displaying the values, right? So for that reason, we are using the doPost method. So what is doGet and doPost? How to override them, that we have to see. In HTML, tags, in form tag, we have a method attribute. Example, you can say form action is there, that URL we specify after that method. That method will be doGet or doPost, like get or post. If that method is get, so in the servlet, I need to override public void doGet, the HTTP servlet request, and doGet, or you can say HTTP servlet response. Now we have a similar thing. For example, in the form action, I have the post. What will happen? It will override the post method. Okay, among this get and post, we use this post method so that the address bar values will not be shown. We're just posting the values. We're not getting anything, right? That's the first thing you can say. So now we have to create an Eclipse application, similar to what we have done till now, the same thing, and in that HTTP servlet you have to use. So what is the application name we have? C drive, Tomcat, web apps. In that web apps, we have the HDFC Bank app. In that we have all the HTML files, the classes, deposit, login, register. Okay, and a JSP file is also there, that is enquire.jsp. How to open the Eclipse application? Simple thing. go for that softwares actually. Like I'll be providing you software. The software consists of Eclipse one, or you can say the Eclipse. Okay, so this is Eclipse Luna I'm using. The new versions are there, like Mars also is there. It's like the planet names they give, and here it has the workspace. So I'm creating a new workspace here. Browse in E Drive. I'll just say advanced. Advanced Java. Okay. E Drive Advanced Java. Click on it. It'll take some time to create the thing. Close it. That's it. So the project explorer is nothing but you can create the projects here. Okay, file, new. Inside that new, we have the dynamic web project, or you can say dynamic web project. So what's the project name we have? We have a project name like what you can say, HDFC Bank app. Like next, you can click on the generate web.xml. It will generate automatically web.xml. Finish. Here if you see, we have an SRC. We don't have any package here, and in that web content we have the web banner. The difference between a normal application and a Eclipse is nothing but inside the normal application, if you see, we have the WebINF, and this contains a WebINF, but it's inside a web content folder. So this web content is nothing but the root folder now. Like the CSS images, all these files must be stored inside the web content itself. Okay, and here if you have the WebINF, the classes, these classes must be created inside the SRC. Okay, the SRC will generate an automatic .class file. So the advantage of Eclipse is that you don't have to compile. It will automatically generate the .class file when you save the file. That's the advantage. Okay, and now after this we have a web.xml. That is, again, you can see inside the WebINF only we can find it, and the lib also. So the only difference between a Eclipse and normal application, the classes are being generated separately in a SRC. That's it. That's the only difference you can say. Okay, so now WebINF is there. I need to add the jar file, ojdbc14.jar file, you can say. So lib, open that ojdbc14, copy, paste it. Okay, now apart from that, what we have to do in the web content, we need to add few things. First, the folders you can add. So I'm directly adding the folders. I'll create the remaining files now. So here inside the web content, I need to create a first file known as index.html. Right click, say new. It will ask for a particular type of file. You just have to give it as index. Automatically it will take it as a HTML file. Okay, so you can open this code. Same thing, Control A, we are copying that. You can paste it here. You can do the same thing for all the HTML files. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, the remaining HTML files I'm copying directly. Same thing, right? Just copy and create the files. That's it. Now we have to have a JSP file. So how to generate a JSP file again? Right click, new, you just have to say JSP file. So what is the JSP file we have? we have a JSP file known as enquire. If you can specify JSP or directly if you enter also, it will generate a JSP file itself. The extension will be .jsp. Open this thing, Control A, here, try to run this part, it will save it. Okay. Control A, copy this thing. Yeah, actually it's giving an error here. What is that error? The servlets part. So we need to set the, see, we set the class path, right, for the servlet or the database. Here we need to build the path. There's a difference, right? So how to build the path? Right click, say build path option will be there, configure build path. Inside that configuration build path, you can say libraries. Inside that libraries, add external jar files and go for the C drive, Tomcat, web apps. Inside the web apps, we have the, we can say what? Sorry, it's a lib folder. Servlet -API. Click on OK. There is no error now, right? Now save this thing. I need to create the packages like the classes now. So what are the class we have? What are the classes we have in the WebINF? We have a classes known as register, login, and deposit. So I'll show for one class. Right click new. Again directly you can say class, okay, or a servlet. So we have a servlet, right? Directly you can specify the servlet. What is the servlet name? You can say register servlet. Click on next. Here it's trying to have a URL mapping directly. Okay, so in this thing, instead of the web.xml, we can use a concept known as annotations. So what is annotations means? Here first click on next and then finish. So we require do get or do post. I'm just saying do post now. Okay, so click on finish. So here it will directly give @web servlet /register servlet. So when you use the annotation, what is the advantage means? You don't have to use the web.xml code. The web.xml file is not required. Okay. So for that part, in the register.html, you need to specify the action tag as the /register servlet. So whatever you have given or taken inside that particular part. Okay. So copy this thing URL. So what is the advantage of annotations? We don't require any web.xml file /register servlet. Okay. So this is for the register servlet. Directly it will execute the register servlet. Inside this, what is the code we have to write? Same thing. Register servlet. Open that file and just copying the entire thing. Okay. Or else directly register servlet, you can say connection. Instead of service, we need the doGet method. Right. So what you're trying to do here, or else you can copy individually. Individually in the sense, first thing is the connection part, the init method. Copy that inside the servlet. Like here, directly you can write it. It needs to import that particular connection object. Import the particular prepared statement object. So we need to import the servlet config. We need to import the driver manager. Right? So if you click on the error, directly it will suggest the package. You can import them directly. Next thing will be the service method, but we don't write the service method, we write the do get, do post. So I'll copy the entire thing as it is, right? And copying it, try catch everything, copy that part. Inside the do post, I'm posting it actually. So inside the do post, I'm writing a part, right? So print writer is a IO package, and after that we have any other thing? No. Save this part. In the register.html, you are given the part, the action, and here you need to say we have a do post. So in register.html, we need to check what is the method attribute is consisting of. It's post. So what method it will override? It will override the register part, you can say directly. So this is one thing what you have done, register servlet. The same thing we can do it again for the remaining parts. What are the remaining parts you can say? Here I need a class. What is the class? Servlet class. So just call it as what we have, login servlet. So again what will change? It will change the login servlet thing, like the URL pattern. Click on finish. Now in this you'll open the login servlet now. Open that login servlet file. See the database connectivity will be there. Just copy that entire code. Login servlet is there. Inside the try to initialize the things. So again we need to import, right? Click on it, import, click on it, import. Result set is also imported, and here servlet config also is imported. Driver manager, and directly insert a particular thing. Why? Because I need to write the init. After the init, try and catch, we have the another thing. Next, after that, do get or do post, I'll override in do get. So what is the things you have to change? The login servlet URL pattern is there, that slash login. It must be changed again. Where you're trying to change it here, inside the login.html. So inside the login.html, we have an action attribute, and where in the action attribute, we are trying to specify it as /login servlet. So the annotation part you're using, instead of post, you can say it as get. So do get method is getting executed in the servlets. Save this part, open the servlet thing, and copy the service code. Inside the service code, we are writing the do get, or you can say click here. Do get part. Save this thing. So we have one more thing known as what? Deposit servlet. So what I have to do here, right click on it, say new servlet. What the servlet you can say? I have deposit servlet. Finish the part, right? Now you have to understand, we need to give the deposit servlet to the deposit.html. So that form action is required here properly, right? So copy this part and make sure what is the deposit.html have, the action or the method attribute you need to understand. Post is there, so you will override the post method. Instead of slash deposit, we'll say slash deposit servlet, right? That's the URL pattern, the annotation part you can say. Now, what is it? In the deposit servlet, we need to write some code. What's that code you're writing here? Login servlet code will be there. The same code like here, you can say connection, copy, paste. Apart from that, we need one more thing known as what? We have the login servlet code or register servlet. We need the deposit servlet where the student request is coming, and after that catch block. So where you have to save all those things means inside a Do get or to post, to post. Save this thing, import this part. Now, after this, we need to run this application. But actually, inside that normal way, we used to place the application inside the server. Here, the server should run this application. Means we need to add a server for this Eclipse. So as we added the build path, the jar files, the same way we need to add this particular things like window. We have the preferences. Inside the preferences, we have a server. Inside the server, runtime environment. Inside the runtime environment, we have the add. And add what we can add here, Apache Tomcat 7, the 7.0 version. Click on next and choose that particular directory. Browse this PC, the particular thing like C drive. Inside C drive, we have Tomcat, and click on the Tomcat and click OK and say finish. Next thing will be OK. Right, that's it for the addition of the server. Right click, how to start the server means right click on it, say run as. Instead of this Java application, you can say run on server. So make sure you're not running two servers at a time. It's not possible. Close the first server and click on next. Which application you want to run? HDFC Bank app. Say finish. Now here you can see it's open in the local browser, like here in this part. So we have a window where the web browser is there. You can say default system web browser. So now if I close this thing, if I run it again, like say right click, you want to start the server, you have this red button here. It indicates the stop. When I click on it, the server has been stopped. Right click that and say run as, run on server. Next and finish. Click on register and registering it as what? Some KK, username, password. Fourth or I'm just saying and register. See in the address bar the values has not been shown now, right? The KK has been registered. Now log in here. Now balance inquiry. You can inquire the balance. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you have a deposit. So what's the deposit thing? You can say you can add an amount for that particular deposit. Or we have withdrawal. So withdrawal part you need to add now. Till now, is it understandable? Any doubts? No. Ram, Deepthi. Any doubts? Fine. See, for every particular account, a profile will be there, right? So when I click on the profile, it should generate our profile information. Okay. So I need to add a profile.jsp for the pages. Means inside this in home.html, I need to add a code. What that code you can say, along with that balance inquiry, I need to add a code known as profile. And you can say here it has what? profile.jsp, right? So we need to write a file. What that file you can say profile.jsp file itself. Okay. Now, what is it? Click on the web content, right click, new JSP file. The profile.jsp. I'll copy the entire code of the home.html. Okay. And I'll just paste it inside the JSP part. And this thing here, instead of welcome, it should display a particular profile of a user. Okay, in a tabular format, you can say the account number and the amount and all the things. So first, Java code must be written. Before writing the Java code, we need to import. How to import? We already know that in the deploy like inquiry.jsp, I've written it. So I'm just copy pasting from there. The thing here, the entire like select star from HDFC and everything, I just copy pasted it. Okay, copy the things, paste it inside the profile.jsp. Now, so I don't want any HDFC like thing. I'm not giving any value, right? Just I need to say select star from HDFC. Okay, the account number is not there. Because when I click on the link, like if you say the home.html, right? When you click on the profile, it should generate a profile.jsp. Okay, we didn't complete the code. So now, inside this, select star from HDFC means we'll get all the details of the user. I can say if the user exists, I need to execute this. While in the sense, if number of users are there, the number of users will be displayed. Right? There is no account number. I'm not displaying anything about that. This entire line is not there. I'll just remove this thing. So what I've done, just imported the package, written that connection code, selected that HDFC values. That values must be displayed. Inside the while loop, I can write a tag, like table tag is there. In the table tag, we have a border to, right? So inside the table, we have a row. For that row, we need a column. What is that column? We can say username. And I can create one more particular column. And this time it's email. I need to display the user details. Email is there. Apart from that email, TD, we have a particular phone. The account number, like say account number. That's it. Only these things I want to display. So what I will do, I close that particular row. Row has been closed. And here, again one more row is there with the values. What are the values? You can say Angular base percentile equals to rs dot get string of username. If you don't know the index, you can directly call the username. It's a row. TD. What is it? Angular base percentile equals to rs dot get string of email. Right? Next, close that particular part. Open another row, like here. Sorry. Angular base percentile equals to rs dot get string of 3, or you can say phone. Angular base percentile equals to rs dot get int of this particular ACD number. Close that row, close the thing, table has been closed. See here, when I'm trying to access this thing, like if I say login, I'll write Shiva and Shiva login. What happened? An exception came, right? So I'll just close that server. Right click on the HDFC app, bank app, right click, run as, run on server. Click on register. Now that particular thing login I have to do. I'll just say login. Did you log in just now? Previous login ayan kada. So what's the username and password we gave that? Register.html, we registered, and now we have to log in. I'll do one thing, I'll just restart the server. Just a minute. So now when I click on the profile, so what's the profile? It should display the user details while logged in, Shiva. Actually, just now what I've done, I removed the cache files. It got confused between the previous and the present application. So in order to clear that, we clear the history. When we clear the history, it will be fine. When I click on the profile, actually it should display the user name and details who has logged in now. But what it's doing, it's displaying all the columns one after the other. Okay.
Yes.
Now here I'm getting that column separately, right? Every time. Why? Because I've written it inside the loop. If you see, observe that when you write inside the loop, it's repeated number of times it's getting accessed. So if you cut this thing, after the loop, I close the Java code and then I open it again. And now before that loop, I'll just write on the table. If I access the profile.jsp again, I got in a single thing. Okay, the table tag row and that while loop, it should end that table tag outside the loop. Right? So what is it? Column is displayed only once, but the multiple number of users are getting displayed here, even though that person who has reached like logged in is Shiva. Why this is happening means in the profile, like if I click on this, I'm not saying who is clicking it, right? If I click on this deposit also, I don't know who is clicking it. When I click on the profile, it directly go to the database and you're retrieving the select star from HDFC. Actually, it should have a username where username equals to the placeholder. This username must be the value which we have logged in. But are we storing any login value? We are just logged in, right? If it is true, we are just logging in. It's going directly to home.html. Where this username has been stored? We didn't store it. That's the reason we are having this problem. To overcome this, we need to have a sessions concept. So tomorrow we'll see the sessions where when you click on the profile, only that profile must be viewed. Based on that, it will give the details. Your task is to write the withdrawal.html. When you give the amount, account number and amount, that amount must be directed and will be stored. Okay? Run that condition properly, because if I have an account which contains of 1,000 rupees, if I write 2,000, it should say that amount is less, right? You can't withdraw. Similar to what we do it in ATM center. Same thing you need to write. Okay?
Yeah.
So done with that application, what you have taken the HTML files. Are you doing that?
Yeah, I'm still working.
Ram, what about you?
Sir, you are going to send the software?
Yeah, like I have it in Luna, like say.
Yes.
So if you have this thing, post in the group, okay?
Okay.
The video.
Okay.
Did you post the last class?
No, I will post yesterday's and today's at a time.
I have this Eclipse Luna, and then this. I have the video also, like how to access that application also. You can see the same video. You can see. First is Nafi, Ram, D3. That's it. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. I've sent the application. Try to do the thing. Tomorrow we'll see the sessions.
okay.
Okay. Sessions, hidden form fields, URL rewriting. Then again we'll go with the JSP. Like the directive tag include and what are the other tags are there. Then the MVC part. If we do all those things, we'll complete the advanced Java. Then we can go for the Hibernate part. Okay.
Okay.
That's it.